Thanks for joining us on our live budgeting party. So we decided to do this because I know that getting started is a hard thing, especially for stuff that you don't want to do. And I assume for you, budgeting is probably not something you love. So yeah, we came up with this idea to just be able to set aside a time and walk through the whole app, how to use it, and have you have a chance to put your numbers in and just ask questions. You can ask questions over on the chat. You have to be using like your desktop though, to be able to see the chat over there. So if you're just like on your phone or just listening to this, you won't be able to do that. But yeah, any questions you have, just put them in there and I'll answer them as I go. You can interrupt me. But yeah, I'm just going to walk through how to use the app. We're really excited about it. It's been a long time getting this app made, and we finally got all the bugs fixed. And I think we're doing pretty good with it now. So yeah, I'm excited to show it to you. So again, I'm assuming that you don't love budgeting. So our system tries to make things as easy as possible. That's what we want to do for you. That's budgeting happy, is making things really simple. So let's see, when you start out here, you're not going to have an email address and a password yet. So on the very bottom, click create an account. And then let's see if the email address I got, look at that, pasted right in there. I'm going to do a dumb password. Don't do this as your password. And then I'm going to delete this account afterwards. You can also sign in with like Apple or Google if you like doing that. That's a little easier probably. So it'll send you a little confirmation code. There it is. Okay. So, like I said, this app uses our like budgeting system. So we created our own budgeting system called Happy Giraffe system. It tries to make things, like I said, as easy as possible. So it started with a spreadsheet, and you can still use the spreadsheet. It's on our website. It's all free. So the idea is that you're going to start out by creating your budget, and then the rest of the app is going to help you track to it so that you can live it every day. So we're going to start out here. There's lots of different currency options. We have people all over the world that use our system. So lots of options there. And you click continue. And there's going to be these little pop-up screens on every one of these. That's just the first time through, just to help you understand what to do in each of the sections. So this one is available money. That is how much money you have in your bank account right now. So if you have several bank accounts, like if you've got things spread out, that's okay. Just add them all together. Just assume that it's all one big number. Because again, we're trying to make budgeting and everything as simple as possible. And if you put it all into one account, that's the simplest way to do it. So I'm going to assume we're going to do this for like a family of 4 in Utah. So I'm going to assume they've got like 5,000 in their account right now because it's almost the end of the month and they probably got a mortgage due or something pretty soon. So, if you want to get back into the little pop-up, it's on the top right corner there. Just touch the giraffe. So in this one, you're adding your income sources. So again, you don't want to count tax refunds, like bonuses, overtime, all that kind of stuff. Let those be happy surprises for your budget. Don't assume they're going to happen. But so if you're going to guess low on these, if on your income. So we're going to start. Yeah, you click the little plus button on the bottom there. And we're going to say this family has like I don't know what to call this one, primary job. And they're making $3,200 every 2 weeks. So every other week. And I'm just going to say everything starts today just to make it easier. But you can move back and forth here and see. You can put it where it actually goes. But I want to be able to show you what it's like when you actually click on them and do stuff later on in the app. So that's going to start there. You can put an end date if you want to. You don't have to. Hopefully for your income, there isn't an end date on those. And then the remind me part, that's just so that it'll in the morning that it's due or that it's going to happen, it'll pop up with a little thing on your phone just to say, hey, this is happening today. So I'm just going to leave the remind me on there. So I've got that job, and then I'm going to assume this family also has like a side business, like an Etsy shop. Spell Etsy. Still good? Okay. Etsy shop. And this is what, like where I said, where you're kind of guessing. So they don't know exactly how much it is, but they're hoping about 400 a month. That's kind of what they're hoping for, and that's kind of the low end guess of what they think they're going to make by the end of the month. So this one's going to be monthly, and we'll just leave this one on today too. But you can select whatever day you want to say that that's going to happen. Okay, so they've got their income. The income's pretty easy. You probably have done that before. Fixed expenses, these are all of your bills. So again, your income and your bills, they're going to show up in the calendar section of the app later on. So here, let's add in some expenses. Let's see, they've got a mortgage. And, oh, it's only $2,100 a month. They must have bought their house a little while ago, because it is way more than that now. I feel bad if you're having to buy a house right now, you're paying way more than $2,100 a month. Okay, so let's see, that is monthly. And again, I'm going to just leave all these on today just so I can so I can see them easier when I get into the app later and show you the calendar side. But put them on whatever day it is that they actually happen. Oh, so they've got utilities. So as you'll see later, you can't just do utilities like a giant thing. If it ends up coming as two different bills, like if you've got electricity and gas, you should put them in separately. And just again, on your expenses, guess high, and your income, guess low, expenses, guess high. Because then when it comes in less than that, it's a good thing for your budget. And for your income, when it comes in higher than that, it's a good thing. So on this one, utilities, for me at least, electricity and gas, they kind of go opposite of each other. So part of the year, one's high and the other's low, and the other part of the year, the other one's high, the other's low. So I'm going to say that it's about $300 a month for this family, but I'm going to just put $150 on each of them. So let's say gas, $150. That's monthly. I'll have that happen today too. And then let's do electricity. And we'll do that one for $150 as well. So when things are actually higher or lower than what you had planned for them to be, we're going to handle that later in the app. So it's okay that that's just a guess right now. It's going to happen monthly, and I'm just going to put it on today. And then the last one here, I'm going to do, let's say, oh, they've got to have a car payment of some kind. So I'm going to say they've got a minivan because they're in Utah and minivans are awesome. I've had a minivan for like 15 years. We weren't making payments that long on it, but minivans are great cars. Okay. So they've got some expenses in there. This is probably going to be the hardest part for you if you're doing this yourself, just because this list is going to get really long. You can do, there's all different kinds of frequencies in here. If you want to do, put some of your yearly things in there. All of the monthly ones, of course, like you can do every 2 months, every 6 months. I mean, there's lots of options in there. So just put in all of your stuff, all of them that are bills and that you're going to have to pay for. And the next step here, we've got custom boxes. So this is a new, probably a newer thing that you might not have seen before. The boxes are kind of like an envelope that we're going to set aside for something. So this family, I'm going to say they're saving up to go to Disneyland. So I'm going to give them a Disney box. So first you create the box, and then you click that little fill button next to it, and then you start filling it up. So they're going to put, oh, what do I have here for Disney? $200 a month. So they're going to put $200 a month into this Disney box, just so that they can set it aside, save up, and then when it's ready, they're gonna use it all. So I'm going to say that's going to start on today too. So they've got their Disney stuff. The buffer, that's what's going to handle when things are different than what you actually thought they were going to be. I'll show you how that works a little bit later. But there's a buffer amount. We're just going to leave it at $500 or at $100 right now. Now this, this is where the app gets different from every other budget. It's gonna forecast all what you already told it, all of that income, all of those expenses, all of the filling up your Disney box. It's gonna forecast all of that stuff for the next 2 years, and then it's gonna tell you what you can have for your weekly allowance. So if you look down here at the over under, right now that says $997. So that means that's the most I can get per week. So if I get all the way up there, let me just type it in, 997. There we go. So that's the most I can spend pretty much each week. So you want to get that number as close to zero as you can. You're not always going to be able to get it really close to zero because you'll have some days negative or your lowest balance will go under. That's okay. So just as long as all three of them are green, that means you're good. So this is forecasting everything out. And it's just making sure that you're going to have the money when you need it. I'm also going to put the refill day here. You can change what day you actually get your weekly allowance. I'm just going to leave it on Monday though. So the goal on this screen is to get that over under as close to zero without the other numbers going negative. And yeah, just to figure out, just to use this to help you figure out what your weekly allowance is. So again, this is trending everything out for the next 2 years, and it's just making sure you're never going to go negative as long as those numbers are all green. So I'm going to go with that. This number is really high, just so you know, because I didn't put in all of their expenses. I didn't want to waste your time doing all that. So this number is pretty high. Actually, in reality, I would probably go back for them if I had this much, because they probably don't need that much every week, and probably add in like a savings thing or something like that. That would probably be a good idea in this case if you've got that much extra, because you probably don't need the full amount. You probably don't need $997 every week. Okay, so I'm going to click complete on this. It's going to show you a little piece of your graph, but if you click more details, then that's going to show you your whole 2-year forecast. So every day, every transaction, it's all going to be in there. It takes a little while because it's a lot of information. So here it is. You can scroll forward. You can see all the ups and downs for the next 2 years, all your money going in and out. And you can scroll down here and see all the different items coming out. So I'm going to get paid. My Etsy shop is going to happen today. I'm going to pay my mortgage, my gas, my electric, minivan. I've got my fixed buffer just to handle the differences between what I hope these are and what they actually are. And then I'm going to start out with $569 right now because today's not Monday. So I need a little bit of money to get to Monday. And then later on, I'll get my full Happy Money allowance, the $997. I'll start getting that every week. So yeah, you can click on any month in here. It's got all the information just to kind of make you feel a little bit better that you're not going to go negative. You're going to be okay. So I'm going to click continue on this. So these screens, you're only going to see the first time when you do this. It's just a little tour of how the app works. So on the bottom left corner, you're going to see a little giraffe. That's how you get to your Happy Money screen. That's the main screen you're going to use. And on that Happy Money screen, that's where you're going to add your expenses as you go. So you've made your budget at this point. Now you're going to try to track to it. So you're going to have a weekly allowance that shows up here next to the tree, and you're going to add your expenses and just don't go below zero. That's the goal. We're also going to have your boxes. In this case, they had savings right here, but in reality, we had, I think, Disney Let's see over here. This is the calendar. I'll show you how to use that in a second. And then the settings screen has lots of options. You can see your stats and you can edit and change some of your payees and your sources and all that kind of stuff. So the fun part is the gamification that we added in. That's where you earn a leaf each day that you use the app. So every day you just open the app, you get a little leaf. It pops up for you. And if you stay within your budget for a week, you'll get 15 leaves. And you'll get more and more leaves on your tree every time, and then it'll grow and get all the way up to 50. And then once you hit 50, you get a new level. So you start out at level 1 and you just keep going up from there. So that kind of just makes it a little more exciting to to keep on top of your budget. So first time here, seeing my Happy Money screen. The leaf popped up super fast there. But so I'm getting $569.71, and that's because today is Thursday and I need to make it to Monday. So on Monday, I'll get my full $9.97, I think is what I selected. But I need to make it until Thursday. So it gives me a little bit to get there. So I'm going to say that, well, I'll show you the screens first. So we've got your boxes, we've got your fixed box, your Disney. It's already got $200 in it because you said it started today. If you click into the box, you can see that Disney monthly is happening. And then here's the calendar. So this one's going to have a lot on one day just because I put them all on today. But if you scroll down here, you can see all the different things that are going to happen today. And then there's the settings over here. So I'm going to start with just kind of how you would use this like day to day. So I'm going to go Happy Money screen here, click the little plus button in the very bottom in the middle. And I'm going to say we spent $15 at Costco. Actually, I should add another 0 to that because it's Costco. And it's going to default to the Happy Money box, but I could also spend from the Disney box. Like when I actually go to Disney, I would spend from the Disney box instead of from my Happy Money because that's where I've been saving it up. And then the date defaults to today. You can also do income, like if you get income that you hadn't expected, or like someone gives you money for your birthday or something, you can put that in here. And you can also transfer between the different boxes. So I'm going to say today I went to Costco, spent $150 and then saved that. So it's going to show up here. And now I've got $419.71 left for the rest of the week. And you can see I've got Friday, Saturday, Sunday left. Like that's that. And at the end of that week, then on Monday, I'll get $9.97. It'll just add it up there. And so anything I have left over, it'll just add all up on top of that. And I'll have a lot, which will be nice. So the goal is just don't spend more than that. That's the only goal. And this Happy Money, this weekly allowance, is to cover everything. So a lot of times budgeting, when you do other apps, they're like, well, yeah, you need something for clothing. You need something for eating out. You need something for your kids' activities. You need something for your groceries. You need something for the gas for your car, like all the different categories. And we don't have any of those. You just put it all in Happy Money. There's one allowance. It only has to last a week. And you can spend it on whatever you want. I don't care what you spend it on. As long as you don't go over 0, you're doing okay. And then you can, when you get to the end of the week, you can look back and be like, did I really spend that on the stuff that I should have? Like, were those good choices? Did that make me happy? So, and if you do that weekly, you're going to catch things a lot faster than if you do it monthly. One of the other nice things too is that you can have 2 users logged in to the same account. So like me and my wife both log in with the same username and password. And then we can both add transactions and we can see everything happening in real time. So that way we're always caught up on whatever the other person is spending, which is good and bad. It's mostly good, but it makes for some conversation sometimes. Let's see, I'm going to show you the boxes here. So the boxes, like I said, you've got money, you're just saving up for Disney. That money, that $200 is just going to keep going, just adding up. Every end of the month, let's just kind of add another 200 in there. And then the fixed box, I'll show you how that works, because right now it's just got the fact that you got a buffer in there. So the way that works is when you use the calendar side, let's say my Etsy shop. Let's say I'm going to click on that and we get to the end of the month. I thought I'm going to make about $400 a month, but this month I did really well. I made $700 instead of $400. So you can see that difference of $300, that's going to be added to my fixed buffer. So I'm going to click on that and then you can see that it's checked. And now if you go over to the fixed box, you can see I've got $400 now because I added the $300 because that was extra. So that's what I mean by saying, if on your income side, guess low, because when you get extra, that's great, and you can just add it in there. But on the expenses side, guess high. So like I'm going to do the gas and electricity because I know these numbers aren't right. I think they add up to about 300 total every month. But like I said, I know these change, but they change about opposite. So I'm going to say the gas this month was, I don't know, $25, whatever time of year that is. So that's going to add a whole bunch to my buffer. And then I'm going to say that the electricity was $250 because it's that time of year and electricity is way more expensive right now. So it's just going to put that difference into the buffer or take it out of the buffer, either way. So here you can see my electricity. I guessed, way low on that one, but that's okay because I had the gas one added money in there. So overall, I'm still at plus 425. And you can do whatever you want with this. Like in my Etsy shop, I made a ton of extra money. So I can choose to use this 425 and do whatever I want with it. If I click the plus button there, I can transfer it. And let's transfer $200 from fixed over to Disney. Because I want to make that add up faster. So I made more money this month. It went in my fixed box and then I can put it wherever I want to. In this case, I'm going to stick it in Disney so that I can save up for that a little bit faster. And it'll just show as a transfer. So that's how you use the calendar. You just click on it. It'll tell you what you thought you were going to have, 3,200 in this case, and then you just type in the actual amount. And you can also change the day on it too. So like this Etsy shop one, well, it's hard to show the day because I can't go backwards. But in the top corner there, right now it says 129. You can click on that and you can put the actual day in there. You just can't go back in time. That's the only hard thing on the app. So yeah, that's how you use all of this. And the nice thing is that every month, if you click forward, you'll see all of your bills, all of your income. It's all mapped out for the next 2 years. And as they happen, you just click on it and say what actually happened. And then the difference will come out of the buffer or into the buffer, whichever way it works for you. So that's kind of the overview of the app. Now that you know what this is looking like, what it's going to do, I'm going to go back in and I'm going to edit my budget. And it says that when you redo your budget, stuff in the past is going to get locked because the app is always today and looking forward. It doesn't care about what was yesterday because I really don't care what you did yesterday. Your bank balance is going to reflect whatever it was that you did. So just so you know, if you redo your budget, stuff in the past, it stays there. It's still going to show up in the app. It's just going to be locked. You won't be able to edit it. So that's okay. And it's okay that this is going to be 0 every time because I don't know what your bank balance is every time you go in to redo your budget. I tried to figure out ways to do that, but it's just really not consistent. So I'm just going to have you just have to type it in every time. So I'm going to say this family still has 5,000 in their bank account. And let's see, they've got their income there. Let's add another expense for them. Like, I don't think we did cell phones for them. And let's say that's cell phones are, I don't know how much cell phones are for a family of 4, maybe $200. That sounds good. And I'm going to say that's going to happen tomorrow just because today is pretty full on there. But you can put whatever day it is, and it's gonna map that out for the next 2 years. Okay, so just add another expense in there. I've got my Disney box filling up. I like that. The buffer amount, that's just going to show what's in your buffer right now, the 225. You can change that if you want to, but it's what's already in your buffer. So I'm just going to leave that there. And then now you can see that I'm spending too much. I got a whole bunch of X's down here. So if I try to click complete right now, it's going to give me a warning and say, oh, your checks aren't green. They're supposed to be green before you do this. So let me cancel out of that. So I'm going to come down. It looks like I'm trying to spend 45.33 too much every week. So if I bring this down a little bit, like 950, somewhere there, 949. There we go. I'm just going to type in 950 because it's easier to type it if you want to get to a specific number. So there we go. Okay, got an over under of 167, and I'm good. I'm never going to go negative. The lowest my bank balance is ever going to get is 1272. So normally, like I said, you're not going to be able to get all the way down. So let me go back here and add in like a yearly expense. What's something that happens like once a year? I don't know. Home insurance? We'll put in that. So home insurance, we're going to say that's, I don't know, $2,500. And it happens yearly. And we're going to say that happens like next month on the 10th. So now that that's in there, you can move back and forth between these steps all you want. Now that that's in there, I'm going to try to do, let's see, 950 minus 36. Let's see, 920. Oops. Oh, hit a little bit less. 914. That'll be close. A little too much. I'm just going to go to 913. Okay, so here's what I'm saying with the over under. You want to get it as close to zero, but you also don't want the other ones to be negative. So right now, over under is good. The over under kind of is like your trend over time. So over that 2 years, you're kind of just even, which is great. That's what you want. The problem is I've got 31 days that my account's going to go negative. I'm going to try to pay a bill or something, and the money's just not going to be there, which is bad. You don't want that to happen. And the lowest my balance is going to get in my bank is going to be 968.71. So also not good. I'm going to complete this though, just to show you what that looks like on the graph. So don't actually keep that number when you do it, because that's a bad choice, and you're not going to have the money when you need it to pay bills. But I'm just going to show you what it looks like on the graph to see how it goes negative. So see how you're spending all your money here, and it gets down, and then it goes under, and that's not good. You don't want that. So here in June sometime, let's see, the end of May, I'm getting to the end. I make my cell phone payment, and then I get to June, and I get my happy money, and my happy money is $913, and I don't have enough to even give myself my allowance that week. That's not good. Then I get paid, which is great. And then it starts going down again, and I go to get my happy money. Towards the end of the month, I'm going to go negative. And I go to try to pay my cell phone bill. I'm not going to have enough money to pay that. So you don't want this to go negative, just because then it means you don't have the money when you need it. So I don't have a way to go back and redo my budget from there, but you'll want to go back in and edit your budget so that it's even, and that you also don't go negative. A brand new thing, if you are a treetop donor, that's if you go in here and you become a donor, which helps our nonprofit. This is hopefully our primary way to get money to fund our nonprofit. So if you become a treetop donor, you can see banking and transactions up here at the top. And in that way, you can add a bank. So I'm going to add in the point on this one is you add your bank, add your accounts that you want to be able to see, and it'll just update them for you. And whatever it pulls in, it's going to show up in this transaction list. And then in the transaction list, you can put it into one of the boxes, or you can tie it to one of the calendar items. So that's the only reason to connect your banking is just so that you don't forget things. They come in automatically into this screen, this transaction screen, and then you can say where to put them, whether it's in one of your boxes. Mostly it's going to be in your Happy Money. Sometimes it'll be towards your bills on your calendar. You can just match them up that way. So that's brand new, just came out like yesterday. So that one's really exciting. You can also see your stats here. So you can see my daily check-in streak. I've been checking in, that's good. If the Happy Money streak and the Happy Money score, that's if you stay within your budget for a week, then you get a score, you get a point on that. And there's your leaves up there in the top right. So every time you get 50 leaves, you get a new level. Let's see what else you can do in here. Oh, you can edit the payees. So like I typed in Costco earlier, so you can change that name if if you typed it wrong or something, or if you've got multiple, it helps to be able to just get rid of some of those. Let's see. Okay, so yep, when you redo your budget, it's going to start over. So I've got $521.71 again to spend for the rest of the week. You can click View All here, and you can see kind of the history, and you can even do a search, and you can search for the things that you've entered. So that's kind of how to use the app, how to use it to create your budget and then stay within your budget every day. You're just gonna, every time you make a purchase or buy something, just hit the little plus sign, add it in there, and then see what the new total is. And just make sure you don't go negative for the week. That's all you have to do. So some of the questions that we get a lot, let's see, one of these is like, what if I get paid every other week and my spouse gets paid monthly? How do we combine that? So the app does all of that for you. You just type in the amount and the frequency, and it forecasts all of that out for you. So I know sometimes if you're trying to do this every month and you're trying to do it by hand, it can be hard because some months you get paid 3 times. Like if you get paid every other week, there's some months where you're going to get 3 paychecks in one month, and then you got to figure out how to handle that. And it can get confusing. I mean, getting extra money in 1 month is a good thing, but the app handles all of that stuff for you. You don't have to worry about it. Another one in here is, let's see, what do I do if I get bonus money or tax refunds? You can spend it however you want. You can put it in one of the boxes if you want to. You can make a box for it and spend it out of there, or you can just put it straight into savings. Whatever you want to do with it. Just make sure that you're not depending on those things, because if you depended on it to make your budget and then it doesn't happen, it's really hard. So for income, guess low, expenses, guess high. That's going to help you a lot. How do I budget for utilities when they're different every month? Yeah, I just showed you that. How, like, you just go into gas, click on it. Oh, now I can't edit it because it's from the previous budget. But yeah, the difference will just go into or out of your fixed box. So like in this case, gas was actually only $25 when I planned $150 for it. And like I said, electricity and gas, for me at least, they're usually offset. One gets higher, the other gets lower throughout the month, and then they switch. So in this case, I just kind of assumed about 300 for the total and divide it between the two of them. And, just use it like that. And then the fixed buffer handles all of those differences for you. Let's see. How do I get my spouse on the same page when we have totally different spending habits? So that's the nice part about sharing everything and being able to see the Happy Money as it happens. So it is totally normal that you are going to have different things that you care about, different things that you spend on. But it's important to remember that whatever you do spend money on affects the other person. So, I mean, right now I've got $521 to make it 4 days. If I go and spend like $200 at, I don't know, I keep going to Costco just because that's an easy place to spend that kind of money. So if I go spend $200 at Costco on random stuff that I didn't even need, then the other person's going to see that and they're going to be like, wait, we're trying to make it 4 days to the end of the week and you just spent $200. What did you buy at Costco? And then you can have those conversations a little bit faster when you might be able to return some of those items, and when you can make choices together, because you've got facts in front of you, and you only have to make it to the end of the week. Like I said, on Monday you're going to get your whole allowance all over again, and you get to try all over again. So I think the system of having it visible for both of you and having a weekly allowance, I think that helps get you on the same page and have some of those tough conversations a little faster. Because again, it is totally okay if you are a spender or a saver, like, and if you're complete opposites, totally fine. It's You just have to be honest with each other about what is happening, so that you can see it, because whether you like it or not, what you do affects the other person, because your total is affected by them. Let's see what other questions here. Um, oh, should I save up for an emergency fund? I like to. So usually for me, when I use this app, let me go to edit the budget here. Just put something in for the amount. Not income sources. So I add a fixed expense called savings. And let's say they just save like $100 a month. That works. So I put it in as an expense. I say every month I'm gonna put this money aside into a separate account, and I just do it as a bill, but I pay myself. But I literally move it over to a different account. I like the online only savings accounts, just because they're a little harder to get to. I don't see the money as often, and that means I don't spend it as easily. So that's how I handle creating an emergency fund. Hopefully, you have some extra money left over that you can come back to this screen and add in some savings. Some people are really tight, and you're just barely trying to get by. That's okay. This will help you see what you need to get by. What is it that you need to be able to just make it. Otherwise, you can come back in and add things like savings, and that way you can put it aside to a separate place and do that. I mean, you can also do things like Disney. That's not a necessity necessarily. That's not a necessary necessity. But I mean, if you got the money for it, save it up, do it. That's great. But yeah, that's how I handle the emergency fund, because it's definitely going to happen where something is too big for your weekly allowance. Like your washer is going to go out, the roof's going to need to be redone. Just there's all kinds of things that happen. It's absolutely going to happen, and you're not going to be able to handle it with your weekly allowance. And it can really mess up your budget if you're not ready for something like that. So try to set something aside. I know it's really frustrating when you have to use it and it goes on to almost zero, but it's helpful. We've had that happen before, and it's really frustrating when you see your emergency fund go all the way down. And you're like, well, I guess we had the money to handle the thing, so I guess it's a good thing, but it feels sad to see thousands of dollars just go away for like a car repair or something that you don't even get to see later on. Let's see. Oh, can I save for multiple goals at once? Yep, like this one you can save for Disney. You can have several boxes in there, save up for whatever you want. One of them we get a lot is, should I put groceries in my Happy Money? or should I make a box for that? So we suggest, let me bring this down because that was way too high. I'll do 900. Oh, too much. 890. Oh, still too much. Do 860. There we go. All green. Okay. Get down to $43. That's okay. Okay. So I'm going to get $491 this time. So yeah, like I was saying, try to get as much as you can into your Happy Money, because it's more flexible that way. But if it's not working for you, that's totally okay. Like we've got a dog and it gets a haircut like every 4 weeks. It has to get a haircut. And that costs too much for my weekly allowance to handle. I don't like that coming out of my weekly allowance because it takes up almost the whole thing. So I have a separate box for dog, and I just put money into that box every 4 weeks, and I just schedule it out and say that's just going to happen whether I like it or not. Um, and that way, when we do get the haircut for the dog, I take it out of that box instead of out of my happy money. So, like in that case, like you could say whatever it is, $120 for a haircut to the groomer. So in that case, instead of happy money, you would take it out of the other box. Um, I mean, Disney's the only one I've got here, but that way it doesn't come out of your happy money. It doesn't touch that, but it comes out of that box instead, which is nice. That way it doesn't mess up your budget. So if you have to have things like that, that's totally fine, but try to put as much as you can into your happy money at first. Just try it that way first. If it doesn't work, that's okay, but it's easier the more things you can put in there and not make all the categories for. Like the least categories you can have is probably better. We've got another one here. Yeah, how detailed my categories need to be. Yeah, we as few categories as you can get. That's the goal. And then last one here is just how often should I be updating my budget? You don't have to update your budget in this way hardly ever. Like unless one of your fixed things changes. Like, I mean, if your Etsy shop is doing $700 every month and you want to change your budget to show that, that's great. If your primary job, if you get a raise or something, then yeah, go in and redo your budget. But once it's done, it's there for the next 2 years. Like it's already mapped out for you. There's all the items. They're right there. So unless you need to change one of those, then you're good. You don't have to redo your budget. At first, you're probably going to redo it a little bit more often just to get used to how much happy money you can handle and how much you need. I suggest trying to make your happy money as big as possible at first. Because if you don't spend it, if you get to the end of the week and you've got $200 left, you can move that into a different box. You can move that into savings. You can use it however you want. It doesn't go away. So it is easier to start out with a bigger happy money amount. And then over time, if you have $200 extra every single week, then you know you should probably go in and fix things. And you could add, like I did, a savings expense and just know that you're going to shove that over into a different account so you don't look at it. But yeah, you don't have to. Most budgets, you have to redo it every single month. You've got to think through all of those expenses, all of the income, all of the timing. Every month, you've got to redo all of that stuff. With our system, none of that. You set it the one time, and then mostly you're just on this happy money screen. This is what you're looking at almost every time. This one or the calendar when you get your bills, and just to say what they actually came in as versus what you were hoping they were going to be. So that is how to use the app. That's pretty much our system. Thanks for joining. Thanks for listening to this whole thing. I hope it helps you though. I hope you're able to budget happier and find a way to do it that's simpler and that doesn't overwhelm you because it can be really hard. Oh, looks like my internet's dying. I think the app can be really helpful for people that don't like budgeting because like I said, you just do it once and then you don't have to think about it again. You just pay attention to your happy money and that's it. So if you have questions, if you need help, just shoot me an email. But yeah, thank you for listening to all of this. I hope you can budget happier.